Next, let's talk about Steve Jobs. His daughter has released a memoir of her father, and it seems that other than turning Apple into the most valuable company in the world, we've also learned that Jobs refused to install heating in her childhood bedroom and told her she smelled like a toilet. Well, the memoir has been reviewed in the New York Times by the reporter Nellie Bowles. You can see as well an interview with Lisa Brennan Jobs, which Nellie conducted, which is online as well. And we can talk to Nellie, who's live with us from San Francisco. Nellie, just from those couple of excerpts I referenced, it sounds like the book is not particularly complimentary. Is that fair?
I think that is a fair assessment, yes. It is a moving and devastating book about growing up as Steve Jobs' first daughter. And this is the daughter whose paternity he denied for years. This is the daughter who mostly didn't live with him, who lived with her mother, who was on welfare. This is the daughter whose tuition at Harvard he cut off midway through without warning her. And this book is about her sort of reckoning with what happened and wrestling with it and presenting the facts as they are and sort of trying to take lessons from it.
And we know an awful lot about Steve Jobs because many people have already written about him. So what in this book enlightened you in ways you couldn't have imagined?
Yeah, I mean, Steve Jobs is a towering figure here in the Bay Area, and he is still the archetype of the CEO, the archetype of the founder. And I think this book complicates his legacy a lot. Personally, what I found new was just how deeply awkward he was, just how strange. There are some passages throughout the book about how he would make very sexualized jokes to his young daughter and made people uncomfortable. I think his legacy is still being retold and recrafted, and I think that that's what she's doing right here.
And I'm not for a minute trying to justify any of the particular examples that you give, but the fact that Steve Jobs was a little strange, a little other than regular people, to some would not seem that surprising given the extraordinary things that he went on to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was a multifaceted, complicated person. And in the book, there are moments of joy and curiosity with him where he takes her roller skating and where he shows up unannounced in Japan to talk about God and consciousness with her while she's on a school field trip. He's a multifaceted, complicated, brilliant person. But what Lisa's really doing in this book isn't a biography of him. It's really her rewriting where she's been in this story all these years. And she's always been kind of the sad part, the daughter who was ignored. And what she's doing in the story is reasserting herself in the narrative as a confident person, as a person who succeeded despite it all and learned from it.
Nellie, thanks for talking to us. We appreciate it. And those of you watching, you can read Nellie's review and that interview on the New York Times website. Now,